The National Catholic Broadcasting Council presents Let Us Reflect Together. 40 Days of Lent Retreat, From the Cross to Hope. Day 13, Stories from the Church on the Street. Dignity in Waiting, with Deacon Kinghorn.
The statistics are chilling, even though they're imperfect. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation reported that in December 2021, 35 names were added to the Toronto Homeless Memorial that lists those who died while homeless in Toronto. One of these deaths was more than a statistic to me. She was my friend. Christine, I'll call her, but it's not her real name. She was a regular downtown. Most weeks, her eagle-eyed vision would spot me as soon as I turned the corner towards the intersection where she hung out. I could still hear her voice from a wheelchair piercing the evening gloom. "Hey, Deacon, Robert, can you give me a push? I'm not going very far." Well, Christine's definition of far and mine would often diverge by several hundred meters. But I could never say the journey was quiet or uneventful. She would talk, but never about herself. She would direct me, but never to her home. So I never knew more than her first name, and I never found out where she lived. Christine was a fixture in the street, mouthy and with an acid tongue. But sometimes that's what you need to survive the streets. However, I've also seen her tender side, when she would often give her last cigarette to a stranger who stopped us. Add to this mental health challenges, which have plagued her all her life, and running away from home at 16, and you have the unholy trinity of homelessness, addiction, and mental health problems. She lived a precarious existence at a downtown intersection, an intersection usually occupied by addicts and people from a local homeless shelter. It was once described in a local newspaper as a stretch of the inner city that is beset by rooming houses and transiency, and so disappearances tend to go unnoticed. Crossing the street is a challenge at the best of times, even for those who are able-bodied. But in the dark or wet weather, the street lights are barely adequate. My friend Christine had lived like this for many years, and several years ago, she had her leg amputated when she was injured at that very intersection and ended up in a wheelchair. She seemed to be deteriorating in health, and there were no more calls for a push in the dark, only her body hunched over the frame of her wheelchair, looking up occasionally as she pushed herself along. Then she was gone. Each week I kept expecting Christine to reappear, as many do in the street, with stories of adventures and misadventures. But there was nothing. Then a few weeks later, a ghost wheelchair appeared, chained to a street sign. It was a wheelchair painted white to indicate the location of a death. I asked someone if it belonged to my friend, but they said they did not know the name of the lady who died. I looked in the local newspaper when I got home, and it confirmed that this was my friend. And it gave her age as 59 years old. A lady who knew her said simply, her wish was to be treated with the same dignity and respect as everyone else. Pope Francis said, evangelization consists mostly of patience. It cares for the grain and does not get impatient with the weeds. The gardener in the parable of the fig tree understood this. He knew that the tree just needed time, patience, and love to heal. There was a time when folk singers were the voice of society. They would point their finger at the world and say, "This is not right." I came across one such singer named Hugh Williams, and with his permission, I quote from his song, "Some People Cry," in memory of my friend Christine. Some people with no place to go. They have no heaven, no arms to hold. They sell their bodies and there goes their soul. And some people cry. Some people are flying high in the streets. Some people pass by in the streets. We should be dying of shame in the streets. And some people cry. And I never really want to know, where do people without a home go?
Join us tomorrow for Day 14, Stories from the Church on the Street, Looking Beyond the Wound, with Deacon Robert Kinghorn. For more information, please email us at info@ncbc.ca, visit our website at dailytvmass.com, or call our office toll-free at 1-888-383-6277. For information on how to order Deacon Robert's latest book, The Church on the Street, Ministry of Presence, email us at info@ncbc.ca.